Hi, I'm Ian Corzine, your social media lawyer. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today, we're talking about the 7 things that if you do, it will get your channel deleted. I put together this list because I work with creators on a day-to-day basis, and they come to me and most of the time, their channel has already been deleted. And so what my job is to get that channel back for them. And so over time, what I do is I take notes on the consults and I put together a list of things that you really shouldn't do because it could result in deletion of your channel, certainly deletion of your videos, potentially a penalty by YouTube for your existing videos. They don't get suggested. They don't get put up on browse. They get restricted. So today we're going to go through those 7 things that you should never do unless you want your channel deleted. And we'll take some questions, obviously, from people watching. I'd love to help you in any way I can navigate the uncertain waters of social media and certainly YouTube. I want to take a moment to say hi to the cool kid. Good to see you, cool kid. And also Kim Leeming is here. Good morning, Kim. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Let's start talking about the 7 things that will get your channel deleted. Now, number 1 is shocking playlists. Now, a lot of people, they don't understand that actually playlists, the playlists that you create can result in your channel being deleted. Certainly the playlist being deleted and the videos that come with that playlist being deleted. Now, I'm sure this is not you, but there's some people out there who want to kind of be provocative. And so what they'll do is they will take various videos that have maybe shocking, disgusting, or scenes with gore in them. They'll put them all together in a playlist. Sometimes they'll timestamp the playlist, and they'll do that for the purpose of shocking people or provoking people. And when YouTube gets a hold of someone like that who's put together a shocking playlist, then they will take down the channel. They will also take down the playlist, of course. There are also people out there who compile educational content, maybe a child about giving birth or videos about giving birth or other videos that have body parts in it, and they'll combine those videos into kind of a playlist designed to, have sexual gratification attached to it. There's also people, like I kind of mentioned before, who take documentary videos of graphic violence and gore and put those into a playlist. And then finally, there are people out there who download content that has been removed from YouTube, then they put it back on YouTube and they create a playlist of removed content, and that's another area where you will get your channel taken down if you do certain things like that. So what's really interesting about these rules is that a lot of them pertain not exactly to your own content. Most of us are used to having threats regarding our copyrighted content, our content that violates community guidelines. But this type of content in this arena, for at least our first number discussion today, has to do with content that you get from others for the most part. So again, don't compile videos that are composed of removed content or content that is acceptable in a different context, but you put it together for a more shocking, disgusting, or sexually gratifying content. That will result in you getting shut down. So be aware of that. I also want to say hi to a couple people here. We got Jackie Bai. Hi, how are you there? We got Esmeralda. Hi, sir. We also got Kenny Lewis Wilkins. I don't have that kind of playlist. Well, that's very good because I don't either. We also have Xander Round. Hey, Ian, good to see you, Xander. Long time no see. I hope you're doing really well with your Tech is Hard podcast. I know that's an awesome podcast. If you guys ever want to tune into another YouTube channel that deals with kind of the difficulties that surround tech and some of the new tech, check out Xander's channel and also his podcast, which comes out, I think, with a weekly episode every week. Let's move on to the next thing that will get your channel deleted, and that is bot views and bot subs. So I think we all know this, but it's a good kind of a rehash. Bottom line is, back in the day, maybe you started your YouTube channel and you're like, listen, I don't have that many subscribers. I have like 7 subscribers. And so I want a little bit of credibility. I want people to take my channel seriously. So you might be tempted to go online and buy, 100 subscribers for $10. I don't even know how much it costs, but it's fairly cheap. Or maybe there's that big video that you really spent time on and you really want to get a lot of views. You put it on YouTube and didn't get suggested. And as a result, you don't have lower views than you want, but you think it really has value. So maybe you buy some views. Have to say, back in 2017, you could kind of get away with that and be able to convince people that you had more subs, more views than you really did. These days, YouTube is on to you. Their AI has been specifically tuned to weed out bot views and bot subscriptions. I've had a creator come to me recently who said that her subscriber counts and her view counts were continuously going down. And YouTube was telling her, listen, our active algorithms are sifting through your views, are sifting through your subscribers and identifying those that are genuine and those that are not. In other words, they're bot subscribers, bot views. Now, in her case, the argument was, listen, I don't have bot views and I certainly don't pay for subscribers, but nonetheless, it told us one important thing, and that is that YouTube is actively looking for those fake views, those fake subscribers. On a kind of a side note, just to kind of encourage you guys, it rarely ever, it never really works when you buy views, buy subscribers, buy likes. It's just really a fallacy out there. There's an argument that there's some credibility attached to it, but when people see less engagement on 100,000 view video, then people know that, something's a little hinky. You've been working the numbers and you're not really, you're not being truthful there. So I have to say that apart from YouTube's outlawing of bot views, bot subscribers, don't do it anyway. It just doesn't make sense. I would certainly rather see a person with 10 subscribers and then within the first 24 to 48 hours, 10 views or 9 views. That's a way, way, way better indication of engagement than someone who has, 1 million views on a video and 3 comments and 3 likes. I mean, it's just glaringly that you bought views. So try not to do it. Once you do it and you get caught, you don't look good in the community. So, that's another thing that you should stay away from. And more importantly, if you do it, YouTube is getting increasingly more sensitive, and they won't just take down your video. They will take down your channel without notice. And they can do this because these rules that we're talking about are in the community guidelines context of YouTube. Now, community guidelines versus copyright rules different in YouTube. When you have a copyright problem on YouTube, YouTube is obligated to give you 3 strikes and then you're out. With community guidelines, even though they give you 4 strikes, so to speak, you get a warning plus 3 community guideline strikes. They also reserve the right, if they determine it's egregious enough, to cancel your channel right then and there without any strikes. So that's one thing to be aware of. These rules should not be messed with. I mean, frankly, if I were, had to make a mistake on YouTube, I'd much rather make a copyright mistake than make a community guidelines mistake. Because a lot of times YouTube just says, listen, this is an egregious violation and you need to be taken down entirely. If you lose your channel, you lose the ability to create other channels. And then you got to figure out a different social media platform to use. So really take heed that these rules are important. Don't violate them. Otherwise, you could be in a way. Let's just say hi to some other people that joined us today. What's going up here? We got Nico Ray 17. Good to see you. We got Mr. Vigia. YouTube stopped being YouTube a long time ago. Yes, Mr. Vigia, we've heard that one before, and I think it is true. It's drastically changed. And we have to be aware of it if we want to stay on the platform. One of the things is that a lot of times we're like, YouTube sucks, and then we still stay on the platform. If you truly believe that these guidelines are things you can't follow, good. Matter of fact, a lot of them are really strong and strict. You got to seek out a different platform. And I always preach this, but please don't forget to spread out your social media, your creations online to make sure, just in case, you maybe have a situation where maybe you bought views back in 2017, you kind of forgot about it. And then YouTube, the AI figures out that you did do that. And then they take down your channel in 2021. Well, you got to make sure you have a place to land. So please work hard on TikTok, Instagram. I wouldn't recommend Facebook, but TikTok, Instagram, maybe Rumble, Telegram, some of those ones, and maybe some of the decentralized ones like Zion or Signal. I think Signal's decentralized too. We got Kevin Hawthorne here today. Good morning, Kevin. Let's see. We got Media Raven Editor. Hi, good to see you, Media Raven Editor. I'd like to hear about your channel. We got pi squared here. It's still early. Wow. I know. Well, you know, I'm an early riser. I'm kind of a go-getter. And so for me, it's not that early. I love to get up in the morning, like 6 or maybe even earlier, and just review some of the headlines, kind of get myself organized. I use this app called Notion. I love Notion. And it gets me all organized. I have a dashboard, and okay, I'm a little bit of a nerd. I'm a Notion nerd. But yeah, I like to get organized and then begin my day. So yes, I know in the Pacific Coast time, it's 8 a.m. and I know my eyes look a little puffy, but let's do this. All right, let's get this day started. Kitty Lewis Wilkins, thank you for your guidance. Thank you for joining us today. We got Trip on 2 wheels. It's a private business and you're spoiled. It's free and why they can do whatever they want. You're a guest in YouTube's house. If you don't like it, you know where the door is. Woo! Just throwing it down. Well, yes, I was about to say unfortunately. It's not unfortunate. Yes, exactly right. You know, we never can forget that even though we want to balance the rights of creators with the rights of the people that own the social media platforms, that they are social media platforms and private businesses. Whenever I've advocated free speech online, I've really reckoned with the fact that we can't order private people to do certain things, okay? It just is a situation where I believe social media has risen to a private sector business at a different level, just like airlines and railroads and those types of businesses. They've risen to such a level because the government has structured our society so that really one of the main ways we can communicate in this world is through social media. So whenever I've advocated, I made a video this week about, you know, changing or, you know, social media censorship law. And whenever I've advocated to do that, I've always wanted to reckon that, yes, there is the right in the private platform to decide what type of content they want on the platform. But when you get to a certain level and you have billions and billions of users, there are responsibilities that come with that power and that money that you make. And part of that responsibility, like an airline, is to host content that you may not agree with. It doesn't mean that you have to host damaging content, horrible, destructive content, things like that. But a lot of times you're going to have to allow differing views on things. And if nothing else, for the advancement of society, it really has less to do with the social media platform or the creator, but we need as many ideas out there as possible. We need people to challenge what I say, challenge what you say. And then eventually what bubbles up to the top generally should be the truth. So yes, I totally agree with the fact, Trip on 2 wheels, that we do need to understand that social media platforms are private businesses. Absolutely. Oh yeah, let's see. We got Indigo Forever. Hi, Indigo. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us early morning. See here, we got Darren Knobs, Bitcoin giveaway scam, YouTube fake live stream too. Well, we're going to get into that actually in one of our next things you should never do on YouTube, or you risk your channel being deleted. Let me move to that right now so that we can move on to our next discussion for those on the replay. So we've talked about the fact that shocking playlist will get you canceled on YouTube. Bot views and subs, fake views, fake subs, that will get your channel deleted. The next one we want to talk about is hacking, and certainly have personal experience with this one, and not because I'm a hacker. I don't know anything about hacking. But the letter of the law says content on YouTube that is designed to educate you, to encourage you, to even provide deeper learning on how to hack government, private sector, corporations, individuals. That is content that is not allowed on YouTube. And I will say this, that through the initial run through of your content, when you do the upload, YouTube AI does an analysis for words related to hack and hacking. This is evident from one of my creator clients who came to me a couple of weeks ago and was doing a Bitcoin live stream, and the situation, you know, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general. And they did discuss recent hacks. And as a matter of fact, I'm risking getting shut down here as I talk about this content, but we'll do it. About recent, you know, break-ins to computer systems that happened in America. And then the computer systems were held hostage by cryptocurrency or in exchange for paying cryptocurrency. And that was what he was talking about. It was a news live stream, and his channel was cryptocurrency based. But because of the use of those terms, YouTube picked that up and not only canceled the live stream, just brought it down, but also jeopardize his channel. They actually said that your channel will be deleted in 7 days if you don't make some of these changes. So we were able to make some changes. We were able to educate YouTube on the fact that this was a news broadcast, and we certainly could use the terms in that context. So what I'm trying to tell you from this thing is, not only do you not make content that teaches how to hack, but also be careful with your reference to that. I mean, there's plenty of other ways to describe it. You know, a computer system in Australia was broken into, and the computer thieves held the computer system hostage and required payment of, you know, Ethereum, something like that. So you can kind of structure your discussion to not have that magic lingo of hack or hacking, so that hopefully you never even get a situation where it's a false positive. In other words, YouTube is saying, listen, you're a hacking channel, you're teaching hacking, and you should be taken down. So be very sensitive to those words. This information I'm giving you is cutting edge. This stuff is not available online. This is stuff that's happening in real time when creators come to me and they have questions. So I'm bringing this stuff to you with the permission of other creators that have had discussions with me, but I'm giving it to you because I really want you to be sensitive to this fact. When you start talking about pandemic, when you start talking about hacking, those are key terms that YouTube AI reads, and so could punish you in some way, even if they're in the wrong. And one of the problems with YouTube in general is that a lot of times you do get punished unfairly. And when you do get punished unfairly, we can fix it. If you come to me, maybe you go to iancorzine.com and set up a consult, we'll work it out, we'll fix it. But I can't not admit that during that, you know, 2-week period where we're trying to fix it, you could be losing revenue. You could be losing opportunities. You could not be able to live stream and maybe lose some of your audience because of the fact is that you always show up on every Tuesday and now you're not appearing. So you don't even want to have a little problem or a false positive problem. You really want to avoid some of this stuff. So that is important to understand. So when we're going back to hacking, what we're talking about is discussion of education on how to hacking, encouragement of it, or in general, stay away from use of that term if you can. All right. Yeah, let's see. We got Media Raven Editor. We don't want copyright or community guideline strikes. We do not. We do not. And I'm trying to spend some time to teach you how to not to do that and avoid those key terms that may result in those strikes. We got EvilGT. Hi, good to see you, Evil. Andrew Soko's here. Ian would be one heck of a Bible student. Yeah, I know. I probably would. I've never done that, but I probably would. I would get the Bible, I would read it, and I would annotize it, and then I would summarize certain portions in Notion and get it all organized. I like that channel, Ali Abdal, I believe it was, where he is just loves Notion and organizing his notes and getting to-do lists and things like that. So yeah, total organization nerd. About a month ago, some random tech videos were uploaded to my channel at the same time. They weren't by me. I don't even make tech videos. I immediately deleted those unknown videos. Wow, Nico, that's one thing I've never heard. Someone somehow got the access to your account, uploaded videos to your account, and you don't even make tech videos, and they were tech videos. Wow, that must be a major error on YouTube's part. I can't imagine how that would happen other than some sort of computer error. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully it didn't result in damaging your channel. But yeah, that's really weird. Unless, I mean, maybe you let someone borrow your credentials at some point in time, and maybe that's how they did it. I don't know. Made it my mistake. I've had that happen where, you know, you have multiple YouTube channels and you have team member access. Sometimes the team members, you know, they move on. They don't work for you anymore, but they're erroneously on your channel when they upload videos. So maybe that happened. I don't know, but that's crazy. Oof. We got Kim saying, starting an alternative social media network about pets. Yes. How do you set and enforce community guidelines? Okay, to ban subjects like politics. You know what? It's simpler than you think. Excuse me. What you do is you look at other sets of terms of service and community guidelines online, which are freely available. They could be YouTube, they could be TikTok, they could be any of the social media platforms. And then you draft similar things. So that you can include that in your website that hosts your separate social media network. I think that it's important that you start off the process, though, knowing what you do want and don't want on the platform before you kind of go through drafting of terms of service and community guidelines, because that helps you go through the community guidelines and make those changes you need. If you do need help going through this, Kim, feel free to reach out, iancorzine.com, or my email address, info@iancorzine. And I can certainly help you try to kind of navigate these waters, because I know it might be difficult, but it's as simple as coming up with the terms of service and the community guidelines and making them separate pages on your website. So not very difficult. Let's see, we got, sorry, I got to catch up with these. Thank you so much, Pi Squared. I appreciate it. Dickie's Discord Dailies. Welcome. Good morning, Dickie's. I at least planned to watch this on time. I didn't, however, wake up on time. What's up, everyone? I love Dickie's. He's so funny. He's I don't know where you live, but he always is sleeping and then luckily wakes up for our broadcast. So I'm stoked. We got Polyrhythm. My SO told me she could not find any YouTube music to put on her TikToks. Does it mean that TikTok just lets users use any music unless the artist specifically fights it? I doubt they have all the rights. She could not find YouTube music. Does it mean that it lets users? No, it actually doesn't. TikTok's terms of service and copyright rules really strongly restrict copyrighted content on the platform. They want you to use only their licensed content. When you can't find YouTube content on TikTok, that tells me that YouTube has not allowed TikTok to have the rights to their music. So, or a lot of times the artists hold out. Taylor Swift has done this. They hold out allowing their music on the platform because then they want to do one big deal and then make some announcement. Yes, now in 2022, you can use Rolling Stones or YouTube music on TikTok, and that way they can get some money out of it. But that's what that tells me. But no, TikTok is very, very sensitive. They will pull down content. They don't even give strikes. They just pull down content if you're violating copyright rules. I will say this, that even if you use, like I've heard people use background music that's copyrighted, but if TikTok has a license to that music, oftentimes they won't delete it right away, but they're really wanting you to use the music on the platform. That's why they have such an intricate licensing system. Let me know if that answers your question. I'm happy to answer more. Trip on Two Wheels say YouTube is advertiser run. They depend on advertiser revenue, so I take issue with your take. Well, I understand. They are advertising run, and all the platforms were set up that way. They didn't have to go that way. You remember way back when, I want to say in 2000, was it 2010? Facebook said, we're never taking money from advertisers. They were set up to be that, but now they're different. So what does that mean? That's cool. That just means that we use social media platforms for how they were designed, and that is advertising our work, and then bringing them to another site, whether it be Patreon or whether it be your own website, so that you can get a paywall going, and then people can pay you for your legitimate hard work on your content. That's all I'm saying. Use it as an advertising platform. Easiest way I've seen is where the creator comes up with a video and has the end on the website, on the Patreon. So you have this great video, it's very compelling, and then maybe there's some questions you're asking your guest that are really, really compelling, and then you pause the video and say, for more, go to iancorzine.com, for example. So that's a really good way to drag people off the platform and then get them in your corral so that you can keep them updated about your content, give them extra content, and really nurture the audience, nurture the community so that you can communicate with your community. Over time, we are going to I think social media is going to be much more group-based. So why not start your group now? Why not get an email list program going? Why not make sure that you have an active email list so that you tell these people where they can get your content and create your own website or paywall site. That's an important thing to do now. Leo Sketches says, thank you, Leo, for joining us. I love having you on the air here. But we do have a question. Ian, what is the allowed boost tool to use in YouTube? I think what you're referring to is when you boost your views, and I've actually tried it. If you go to your YouTube studio and you go to your content, go to the content tab, and then you go to one of your videos, if you click it's the three dots, right? If you click the three dots, there is a button there that says promote. You can click on promote, and that will allow you to pay fairly low amounts of money to boost the views of your video. Now, what does it mean? I mean, it ultimately means that you're paying them to push your content. In other words, you're paying them to make your content suggested. From what I understand from YouTube corporate is that that's exactly what it is. It's just paying YouTube to put you on suggested. And so sometimes it works. You know, I've seen people do that. It just, it doesn't cost too much money. It's just that it's not, it's not sustainable, I think. Eventually you start getting in this habit where you're always boosting views. And I think ultimately you don't want to have to pay for that exposure. You want your videos to be so good that people voluntarily come to your videos. And I think if you start paying for views, you can just get lazier because it's not real. The response to your work is not real. So, you know, obviously everyone does everything. And I've heard a lot of the largest creators, they pay for views. You know, they have one video that just doesn't do that well. And so they can just instant, suggest it for a low amount of money, especially if they're making so much money. I don't know. I try to stay out of that racket because I try to say, listen, if the better the video I can make, the more response I can get. And then also that'll help me understand what I don't need to do and what I do need to do. Recently did a video, I guess it was Thursday, and it was all about this new law that would impact creators with social media censorship. Did really well on my channel. So that really is telling me, hey, a lot of the people that follow me would like to hear more about new laws, new rules that affect creators, that affect people out there on social media. So guess what? I aim to please. I'm not here to doing this. I'm hoping I'm not here to just please my ego. I want to help you. So I'm going to do more content like that. So I think that hopefully answered your question. Let's move on to another question. Yeah, we got Dickie saying hacking, not a single hacking channel I followed has ever been removed. Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I've seen some removed. People have come to me in the consults and said that their channel's been removed. So maybe we haven't followed the same channels. Or maybe YouTube is just really pushing this now. I know that it's true from my discussions with other creators that this is happening. Use of the word hack or hacking is not a good word. So instead of, 2 hacks to buying to making a pie, 2 tips, might be better. But yeah, that's what I've seen. We got Futurology and Gamer Hub. If YouTube is getting too strict, I'm moving to Odyssey, an alternative to YouTube with more freedom of speech and expression. So don't forget to check their website. Well, thank you so much for mentioning Odyssey. That is a very popular platform with a lot of large creators. I want to say Marquez Brownlee is on that one. A couple others are too. So yeah, please make sure that you're just not YouTube centric. You're going to the other platforms and broadening your reach. You never know when YouTube decides that they don't like what you're wearing and shuts down your channel, which they reserve the right to do based upon that December 2019 ruling. All right, let's move on to 7 things that will get your channel deleted. We talked about shocking playlists. We talked about, in this case, hacking. We talked about bot views and sub views. Now let's move on to I think it's the 4th one, dangerous thumbnails. And let me get real specific here. If you do dangerous thumbnails, that could result in not only your video being taken down, but your channel deleted. Some of the ones they're out to get, thumbnails that include pornographic images, thumbnails that have violent imagery intended to shock or disgust, graphic or disturbing imagery with blood or gore, thumbnails with vulgar or lewd language, and then thumbnails, this is the big one, misleading viewers into thinking they're about to view something that's not in the video. So that happens quite a bit. Creators out there want to get some clicks, and so they put someone's face that's famous or attractive, and the video has nothing to do with that person's face. This will, in the old days, this would get your video taken down, right? But these days, YouTube has so much content that they've adopted a no tolerance policy. So if you have thumbnails that have pornographic images, you are out. That doesn't mean your video's out, your channel's out. If you have violent or graphic or disgusting images on your thumbnails, YouTube doesn't want it and you're out, meaning your channel is out. If you have swear words, lewd or vulgar language in your thumbnails, I think some of the conventional things, with the SH and then a asterisk T, I think you can get away with that. But if you actually have real language, that's bad language, that's going to get your channel deleted. And then finally, the biggest one, and this is the one that we talked about all the time, is when people don't make a thumbnail that reflects what the content is in their video. So make sure that you don't fall victim for this plan to get people into your video by putting, things that would, images, faces that they would want to click on, and then you don't deliver the content. Make sure you're clear on that. That's a big one. So that is that. Let's make sure we're attending. Oh, we got Type 1 Talks here. Hey, Type 1 Talks. What's happening, Ian? Would you mind sharing more about your channel economics? What percentage you're making from which income source? Well, I mean, it's never been a topic that I feel that I should share. But yeah, my channel is just a very the AdSense is a very small portion of my income. Most of my income I make through investments that I made before. I used to be a lawyer for 20 years. And so I also have a company that does legal documents. And so I make money from that. I also make money from consults with creators, a lot of large creators consult me regularly for advice on YouTube or the rules or the other social media platforms. And then we also do consultations about brand deals, how to make more money on brand deals, how to negotiate the contracts the right way. So it's kind of a multiple stream income stream, which I really appreciate. I love it. It's a very variant day in my life. That's why I organize myself so heavily on Notion. But yeah, AdSense for YouTube is a minimal part. I don't count on it. Matter of fact, like on streams, I don't monetize. I really kind of feel grateful that I have the platform to use for free. So whatever I make on AdSense is usually either goes to the channel or is donated or whatever. So that's me in a short in a summary. We got Serendipity Bakery here. I'd be afraid to pay for videos to be pushed. Then I think the algorithm would change based upon them paying or not. No, I don't think so. Frankly, I think that YouTube really wants you to pay for pushing, pay for suggested, getting the video out there. And listen, I see lots of creators out there who do different things. So it's one thing to promote a video, which is actually take a video you created and then have it artificially suggested. But it's another thing a lot of creators are doing are just creating YouTube ads. And so let's say I'm a legal channel like I am, and what I might do is to create a 15-second or 30-second ad for my channel, and I might append it to Legal Eagles videos, which is one unique thing you can do on YouTube. You can actually tell YouTube to put your ad on a given video, on a given channel, within a given subject matter. So, listen, it is a way, and I can't argue against it. These days, we've, fully converted to pay per play. So a lot of creators are doing that. They have an online course. They want to get out the word about a video. They're going to pay for views. They're going to pay for ads sitting on YouTube. I don't have an argument with it. And like I said, I don't think YouTube looks down upon it. I mean, they really want you. I mean, what if you were paying them $100 a video? That would be good. That's more income for them. So don't worry so much about that. I think the only thing that you're losing when you're promoting is you're not getting, and I use this word with quotes around it, you're not getting real feedback. Obviously, YouTube controls how your video is viewed, and if they don't like the subject matter, they're going to downgrade it. But when YouTube is being honest with you and fully promoting their video like they should, then you are getting feedback. If you don't get that many views on a video, probably that there's some things you can do to improve. And I think it's so valuable. Rarely in life do we get this opportunity to be able to improve our public speaking skills by having an audience that's there every minute of the day. If you think about it, in the old days, if you wanted to be a good public speaker, you just had to give a lot of speeches. But a lot of speeches is probably one a week, right? Where YouTube, I mean, if you really wanted to just continually make videos, you could make video after video after video, get more feedback, get better. So that's what I use YouTube for, is really the ability to practice my skills delivering a message. I focus on every single video trying to be clearer and use less words. That's why my videos get serially shorter over time. But I really just want to be a great communicator. So that's what I use YouTube for. So if I started pushing my views, maybe I would get some more subscribers, but I wouldn't get that feedback where I think yesterday, creator said, listen, your editing is confusing and it's distracting. Could you change it? And I'm like, okay, cool. Thanks for the feedback. Maybe I will do that. So I really value that. So maybe you should too. Let's see if we got some more that I missed, which I think we did, and I'm gosh darn it. Okay, Boost is there. All right, we got RPG Mods fan. Ian, I totally agree with what you're saying. I learned a lot from watching educational YouTube videos before YouTube started cracking down on such videos as fake news. Yeah, I know. It's all YouTube AI too. It really is. We got Shoriyuku97. Good evening, Shoriyuku. Thank you so much for joining us. It's morning here in California, but it's obviously evening where you're coming from. We got Serendipity Bakery. If I include foreign language captions, are there any specific foreign languages I must avoid? Does YouTube strictly push Chinese subtitles to China? How's this work? It is varied. It doesn't always work. Let me just make sure I got the question right. I should avoid? No, there are no foreign languages you should avoid. To my understanding, matter of fact, YouTube values when your video has been translated into various different languages and they don't have any predisposition on which languages you translate it. So I actually think that either if you have the money to have it translated and put it in your video, that's valuable. Sometimes there are viewers out there that contribute the translations or ask you to translate videos. The more languages, the better. And I will say this, back in the day when I was starting, they were saying, listen, translate your videos because you'll get more views. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think your video is just kind of evaluated by your existing fan base. And let's say it's translated into Chinese, let's say. I don't think because your video is translated into Chinese that it's sent to Chinese people or people who speak Chinese to view necessarily. I have seen situations where we have a video that's translated in multiple language, and then later in time, a year and a half later, the video blows up in a different country that the language represents. But it's not, I always thought, oh, maybe that's a way to get more views, to get more exposure. I'll just make sure that all my videos are translated into Spanish because Spanish-speaking world is huge. It doesn't work that way. So it's not a big value. And then does YouTube strictly push Chinese subtitles to China? No, I guess I explained it, but no, they don't. It really is more interesting than I thought. I thought that if you could have your video translated, it would automatically go to various countries, but it does not. So do it if it helps. Who I was thinking about, one of the creators I work with, I forgot his name right now, but he did a lot of translations into languages that people from India speak. And he did get a major influx in subscriptions. So sometimes it catches, and then people continue to watch more and more of your videos. And then if you translate more and more, it works, but it doesn't generally work. All right, we get Kim Leamy. Thanks for answering my question. I appreciate it. Do you know of a service that will use AI to enforce copyright community guidelines on a separate social media network? I do not know of this service. A majority of the social media platforms have their own programming for that. But here's the thing. I do not discount the fact that if you went to Upwork or you went to Fiverr or one of the other websites that has independent contractors that you can hire, that you could find someone that would do that. I was doing from one of my other businesses, I went to Upwork to find people that do what would be human analysis of viewing of websites. We're trying to figure out where people are looking on our website. And it was kind of an ambiguous function, but we were able to type in some keywords and get someone that was very, very reasonable to do an analysis of our website and figure out what needed to stay and needed to go. So I imagine that in that workforce that exists in the globe or on the globe, you could find a programmer or someone who's designed something similar that you could incorporate for your website. Because I believe it, Kim, while I support you on creating your social media platform, you're probably not the first person to think of that. So there's probably a lot of people out there that have already done it, and there's probably some sort of AI that can be programmed or that you can even license and use for your new social media platform. And by the way, super encourage, keep going, Kim. We need it. I think a pet-only platform would be awesome. We got RTS Sport Cards. I used to use the Jeopardy theme for my live YouTube feeds. I am a musician, so I was going to record a version of the Jeopardy theme a half step down, so it still sounds a little like it. Would this work? No. YouTube actually analyzes music in a different way than we're used to. And it also tests for tone, pitch changes. The one thing that YouTube AI cannot do very well is read instrumentation. So what it does do is it picks up a melody from one part of the audio and then makes the decision after that. So that's why when I'm talking to creators about they want to re-instrument a piece of music, they say, listen, it's totally transformed, right? It used to have a big orchestra behind it, and now it doesn't. Now it's just a guitar and me singing. YouTube will pick up that melody. So the best advice for you when you're trying to figure out what copyrighted music you want to use on your stream or your videos, and you don't know if YouTube will accept it, is the conventional policy, which is now create that music, do a dummy video with that music in it, upload it as unlisted onto YouTube, let it go through its copyright checks, and see if you get that green dollar sign. If you do, then you know that at least at this point in time, that piece of music is allowed on YouTube. Now, it's no guarantee, and that's why I always caution people for using copyrighted tunes. Do you really need to use the Jeopardy tune? There's plenty of people out there who can, if it's you or if it's someone you contract with, can come up with a Jeopardy sounding theme that's your own, that you own the copyrights. When the viewers watch it, they know, oh yeah, he's referring to Jeopardy. But at the same time, you own that music. That's much easier, much less risky than just doing a re-instrumentation or a slowdown or a pitch shift on the Jeopardy theme, the original music. So that's probably my advice to you. I would just create my own music. Polyrhythm, very interesting to know. Thank you. You learned a lot in a short time. We'll relay it to my partner. She was wondering it as well. Oh, great. Well, awesome. I'm happy to help. Let's see. Serendipity Bakery. I'd be afraid to pay for videos to be pushed because I'd think the algorithm would change based on them paying or not. Yeah, I think we talked about that, but yeah, it doesn't. Matter of fact, they want you to pay for videos. All right, we got Dickie's Daily. Dangerous thumbnails can and will get people caught up. Bigger issue with these is false flags. And we can talk about false flags in a moment. Now I want to return to the subject of today's presentation, and that is the 7 things that will get your channel deleted. So we'll move on to this one. And this one has to do with, here we go, previously removed content. So what is YouTube saying on this? We have creators out there who upload content. Maybe it is unfairly blocked, taken down, and they know that it's fair use content. They know that it's Creative Commons content. They know that maybe they didn't use any other people's content and they didn't violate any community guidelines. So what they do is they say, listen, YouTube must have made a mistake. I don't feel like fighting the battle. The people that follow me really want to see this video, so I'm just going to re-upload it. If you do that, not only do you risk having a problem with the initial video that was taken down or somehow penalized, but you also risk losing your channel. It didn't used to be this way. It used to be a situation where it was video by video and they would take it down. They would allow you the appeal process per video. But now the situation is they're getting much more strict. And what they're saying is you are not allowed to upload previously deleted, previously taken down, previously penalized content. Now, what I've seen happen is that the creator is actually in the middle of a dispute with this video. In other words, it hasn't been decided it's being taken down. He's been given 7 days to take it down. And he still uploads that same video to YouTube, and then he has a problem. He loses his channel. So there's no warning, and then 3 community guideline strikes, you are out. So don't do it. If you are in a dispute with an existing video, go through that dispute before you allow that video to go up. I will say this, an end around is to make summary content of your video. In other words, to do your best to scrub your video of any violating content, maybe make the video much shorter, maybe make it an ad, whatever it is, but really substantially change that video before you upload it. But do not get PO'd at YouTube. You lost the appeal, the video is taken down, and then you re-upload it saying, listen, they're never gonna find out. They will find out, and they won't just commence another process against that video. They will delete your channel, and you will not be allowed to make YouTube content ever again. So it's really, really important that you honor that law. Otherwise, you got a big problem. We got the next one we have is external links. So again, in the old days, external links weren't a big deal. You would have a problem with one video and nothing else would happen. These days it is way different. So what are external links? Obviously, there are URL links in your description section that you want people to go. YouTube does not want you to take viewers off the platform. They don't want it. Matter of fact, there's been a lot of anecdotal evidence showing that if you have external links, many external links, YouTube will de-promote your video. They will not promote it. Your video will not get suggested, and you'll have problems going on. So a lot of creators kind of take a risk when they take people off the platform, or they just do one URL link, or maybe two, and that's it. I tend to not do any external links in my videos because I figure that I can get the information that hopefully will help you through using a Google source. So if I have a free guide, if I have a free ebook or something like that, I make sure that that's available on Google Docs or one of the Google properties. And then if you use a Google property external link, you can be assured that YouTube will not disadvantage you in any way. If you want to promote other videos of yourself or other YouTube videos, placing YouTube external links in your description section will not penalize your video. But when you get to the point where you want to drag people to your website, which is an external link, you want to take them to another business, maybe you're the sponsor of the video website, I just don't do it. The easiest way to help you in the process is if you have a brand deal and you want people to go to a different link, you can do a landing page, right? You can do a landing page on a Google property, and then you can have people access that external link from that landing page. So you can do it because the problem is, short of the typical Amazon link, is that if the link that you link people to does not comply with YouTube's community guidelines, then YouTube will take down your channel. Let me say that again. If the external link that you provide in your description section does not comply with YouTube's community guidelines, then YouTube will take down your channel. What doesn't comply? What I've seen recent by creators that have come to me in consults is cryptocurrency. That's one of the big ones. YouTube does not allow get-rich-quick schemes. YouTube right now is kind of in this antiquated mindset that cryptocurrency is kind of a get-rich scheme. And so one of the creators was including a Bitcoin currency exchange website link in his description section. YouTube did not like that. It was taking viewers off the platform and taking them to a cryptocurrency exchange. They viewed the exchange as not being valuable or potentially fraudulent. And as a result, they took down his channel. All right. So be very careful with external links. Like I said, the safest bet is not to use them at all. Second safest bet is to use Google properties, links from Google properties in your description section. And then if you absolutely have to, maybe one link. But realize that YouTube's AI could construe that as taking people off the platform, and you also risk the content on that for that link changing. See, that's the one thing is you can't control what is the content on that external link later on in time. When you put that external link in there, the content on the external site could comply with YouTube's community guidelines, but later it couldn't, so or did not. In which case, that's a problem. Sometimes I've seen YouTube, you put an external link to maybe a brand's website, and then years pass, the brand goes out of business, and so the link is dead. YouTube also reads that as a problem. So external links are risky. I mean, if you don't need it absolutely, you probably shouldn't do it. There's lots of things you can do. I mean, what I've done in the past, I have a text line. So I put my text number in the video itself. Text this if you want this free guide, okay? So that's a way of having an external link, which YouTube cannot, will not de-promote my video as a result. Obviously, landing pages. Using your website, if it's approved by Google or by YouTube, is okay. But there's lots of different ways to get people there to your various things. One of the ways that is risky is using external links. All right, enough on that one. Now we'll move on to misleading title, thumbnails, description, or tags. So this is our final thing that if you did, it can get your channel deleted. I know that most of you out there are not going to have this problem, But you just have to remember, make sure that your title reflects the content in your video, that the thumbnails don't have images that have nothing to do with what you're saying or what you're doing in the video, and the description. This is another one that's a little bit iffy. You know, sometimes people have a video, but then they want to use the description section as a continuation of the information in the video. So technically, their description doesn't mirror what's in the video. It's just a part two, or it's a, you know, a continuation of the story. And that gets people into trouble. YouTube wants the description to mirror what's in the video itself, and it reads those words. It reads the voice, my voice right now. It reads the comments in the comment portion, and it reads the description section, just like a, you know, natural language reading. So don't fall victim. Don't try to, you know, get super creative and, you know, have you know, the video be part of the art, and then the second part of the art is the description section, or maybe you're drawing pictures with ASCII characters in the description section. Things that don't mirror, you know, focus, just describe things in the video. That could get your channel taken down. And then the other thing also is tags. Even though tags don't really help videos anymore, what I am seeing is people putting famous YouTuber tags in their videos, hoping that somehow that video they made is associated with the famous YouTuber and we can get some views. Now, sometimes those famous YouTube people forget. They just include the same famous YouTuber, even if their video has nothing to do with the famous YouTuber's video. So if you're doing, you know, maybe you like doing camera videos, so you always put Peter McKinnon in your tags. But then you made another video that has to do with how you baked a cake. So Peter McKinnon, you forgot to keep on leaving it in there. And Peter McKinnon has nothing to do with baking a cake. And so what will end up happening is there'll be a problem with the video. And then eventually you could get in a situation where you have a problem with your channel. So these are these 7 things you shouldn't do. Otherwise your channel will be deleted. And I want to emphasize that. Back in the day, it wasn't channel, it was video. But now it is complete deletion of your video. So let's go over this one more time here. Again, we're here to discuss 7 things that will get your channel deleted. First thing, shocking playlists. Playlists that combine other videos for the purpose of shocking people, for the purpose of sexual gratification. Don't do that. Bot view subs. I think that's enough said. Don't do those things. It not only doesn't benefit, it not only threatens your channel, but it also doesn't benefit your brand. Hacking. I would not mention hacking or encourage hacking or educate hacking in your videos. You can risk your channel being taken down. Dangerous thumbnails, thumbnails that don't represent what's in the video, thumbnails that have swear words, thumbnails that have graphic images or sexual images. Don't do. You risk your channel if you do. Don't post previously deleted or previously removed content from onto YouTube. YouTube will find out and they will take your channel down. External links, we talked about it in long detail. Be careful. Hierarchy is no external links. Next step is external links only from Google properties. And then the next step is 1 external link, but make sure that the content you're linking to complies with YouTube community guidelines. And then of course, don't do misleading titles, thumbnails, description, or tags. Those descriptions must mirror what's in the video. Those tags must mirror what's in the video. So those are the 7 things that if you do, you can get your channel deleted. Don't do them. All right. We got pi squared. Some YouTubers made those, but they didn't get deleted. Yeah, it happens all the time. I can't always say that even though I advocate following of these rules, there's a lot of people that violate them and they don't get punished, but I always say they will get punished at some point in time. Clickbait. Kenny Lewis Wilkins says clickbait is the main problem in Minecraft YouTube community. Absolutely. I think it's the main problem for social media in general, and also mass media. You know, it used to be that mass media held the public's attention just because it existed. Now, because there's so much competition for news, mass media has joined in the game, and they got to create clickbait titles and thumbnails just like we do. So yeah, I think clickbait is all over the place. And what the unfortunate part is it's really jading our society. I mean, how many times have you seen the thumbnail, "I'm done, it's over"? And you just know if you click on it that it's not over, that the person is not done, or they were done, you know, living in a place and now they're living in another place. So it makes people jaded, and we don't want to, we want to interact with the content. Oh, okay, shoot, I gotta get to these. I wish there was a way to control where you were at. You should be able to have. Oh, Remy's here. Oh, so sorry, Remy. I didn't see your super chat. Thank you so much. Morning. I got my channel deleted before I reached 1,000 subs, but had 565,000 views on boxing bouts. I was given consent to post. How can I submit a probably a proper appeal or something, right? Well, Remy, before we move on to this question, I just want to say thank you so much for the donation of $5. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I know money is hard to come by, so thank you very much. It sounds like you had a copyright problem. I don't know for sure, but if you're doing views of boxing bouts, but it does say you were given consent to post, huh? Well, that's an interesting question. I mean, there's 2 points that pop up in my mind. One is, did you get consent to post all the bouts? Maybe you didn't get the consent to post them all. Then secondarily, did YouTube make a mistake? Did they not know that you had permission to post these bouts? What I recommend people who do a lot of copyrighted content with permission is that they include that written permission, a copy of the email, a copy of the license agreement, a copy of a text, even an audio phone call, whatever it is, put it into a Google property like Google Docs, and then say, I have permission to post this copyrighted content, link to Google Docs. And that way, not only can YouTube AI follow that link, but also a human reviewer later on in time can click on that link and find your permission. So that's a good way to get permission and a license agreement to YouTube's attention. I don't know the situation. Remy, I'm happy to hear more about it to see what we can do to fix it. You probably were sent an email or two about copyright issues. And if you were, let's talk about how you can oppose that. Was there a DMCA takedown strike, or was it merely a copyright rule strike? We don't know that. So let me know if that's the case, because if it was a DMCA takedown strike, then we have a counter notification to file against them, which, we have some techniques and strategies to make sure that works. Otherwise, we don't know if it's a YouTube rule strike or if it's a DMCA takedown notice. So let us know in the comments more. If you want to reach out to me, no problem. Email me at info@iancorzine.com. I can help you there. Or if you'd like to schedule a consult with me, just go to iancorzine.com. Just go in the upper right-hand corner, book now, and then you can get on my calendar and we can talk about your unique issue and hopefully resolve it, because that's BS. It's too bad that you got shut down. We got Dickies. I've been told by people their accounts were removed because of videos they never even published. Huh. Wow. That would be interesting to know about. Let us know if any information, if you have any examples, I'd love to hear about that. We got, let's see. Just trying to get some questions here. Mind what you say online. Infotagion is anything contrary to global. I don't even want to use the word. Okay, I'm not going to read that part. Yeah, we did a live stream about maybe a month or two ago where we talked about the pandemic community guidelines rules on YouTube. And there, of all the rules, and you got to imagine all the rules probably are more important. The pandemic rules are the longest and the most detailed with the most examples. So absolutely, you're right. 6.1.19. That is true. You have to be very careful about using those terms. It will get your video taken down. It will get you an info card at the bottom of your video, and it risks your channel entirely. We got Remy here. I was given 27 days for my disputes while also given a green light to publish just to get shut down. Huh. Wow. That's really, really difficult, Remy. I don't know exactly what the 27 days was, but I'm sorry you got shut down. And again, reach out to me later on and we can maybe talk about your specific problem. Oh yeah, Polyrhythm, I like this one. Next year's award for the riskiest job, owning a YouTube channel. Yeah, I don't know if it's the riskiest job. Sometimes we take it too seriously. And one of the things is, I've noticed this too, if you are on different platforms, then sometimes you don't pay attention to, one of them that much or something. It starts to your interest wanes a little bit. And then all of a sudden that platform starts growing out of nowhere. So sometimes when you move your attention other else, in a different direction, different platform, then it actually helps grow because you're just not worried about it, and it actually helps your channel. So think about that too. This is new to me, Corzine. Wasn't aware of the external link issue, and from an anecdotal level, that makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. Just be aware of that. That is real. That is real deal. That's coming from big creators. Oh, Danzo just wants a clarification. So external links in description box are okay, just not in the video itself. No. My point is this. Err on the side of not doing external links. If you need to do external links because your content demands it, in other words, you're referring to some sort of document that's the subject of your video, you want to provide, you're an art channel and you want to provide people with the final product and an NFT or something, then one, try to display that image or that document on a Google property. So a Google Doc, a Google Sheet, a Google Form, or maybe even a Google landing page. All right, so try to do that. YouTube doesn't generally have a problem with external links that's from its own company. All right, the next step is that if you absolutely have to do an external link to a non-Google property, then just do one, and then just make sure that you maintain a connection with that website so that if it goes away or if it starts to have different content that could violate YouTube community guidelines. And then secondarily, yes, you could include a URL, title in your video. It's not that effective because it's not clickable, but that is one way to circumvent it. I will say this, YouTube reads the titles just like it reads our words. So it's not exactly a good remedy. But I will say that if you have a phone number, let's say you do a text or an email account, that usually is not a problem. So if you say, listen, if you want to learn more, I put together a guide on the subject matter of this video. You can get it by texting, Ian to this number and put the number as a title on the screen. That is generally okay. And that again takes them to external link, but it's not from the description section. So that's what I'm trying to get across for external links. All right. Learning Spanish world. I'm very careful, but once I recorded a public domain song. Other YouTubers have also recorded it. I played the song on my guitar. I did my own rendition, and this guy gave me a copyright strike. Oh my God. That's crazy. Can't believe that happened, but it does happen, which brings us to what we were going to talk about before, because it was suggested, I think, by Dickie, and that is false copyright strikes. All the rage right now. We have channels out there, including people that are on this chat right now, who have make videos that have all original content, but they've got copyright strikes. You go, what? How could that be? Because there are disingenuous people out there who want to hurt creators or they want to hurt the competition. And so they just file a DMCA takedown notice, which causes a problem, makes the video, according to the law, go straight out of the system. And then it causes what's called a counter notification process, which causes a whole dispute. Potentially the creator gets a copyright strike. He loses the ability to publish for a week. He loses the ability to live stream for a week. So it causes all this havoc, and it's all because of these dummies that do this. YouTube is working actively to stop this from happening. They have been very receptive to my requests on behalf of creators to get videos reinstated. I've had it happen as much as a day after we did the appeal. So certainly within a week, certainly within 2 weeks. So it is happening. YouTube is doing their best to stop it, but I won't lie to you that it's out there, and it's something you should be aware of. So even if you're not doing any copyrighted content, you face the possibility of a copyright strike. So what does that mean? It just means that, hey, you got to make sure you're on different platforms, right? So if you can't live stream on YouTube for a week, you can do it on Instagram. So just make sure you build those audiences, and then YouTube will take care of it. What's good about it is that YouTube has been very strict about it. So when we've seen false copyright strikes, the channels that have done it are gone. So you can rest assured they're doing some stuff, and I've seen it really work in the past. Matter of fact, of all the creators that I've worked with trying to get their channels back due to false copyright strikes, I've always got them back up. I'm not going to wood as I say it, but that's the truth. So yeah, it's difficult. Futurology, if YouTube continue to be strict to video content, a lot of people are going to leave YouTube for another video platform like Odyssey. Yeah, it's true. I think so, true. Learn Spanish is, I just don't understand because my rendition was mine and it was a public domain song in elementary schools. Yeah, it should be released. I don't know what the status is now. It says I once did, so it must have been happening a while back. So did you just learn Spanish? Let me know. Did you just go to copyright school and then the strike resolved, or did you successfully appeal? Let me know. Lamar Falk says, great info. Thank you so much, Lamar. Normalized audio, can't expect any fairness. I think it's a general truth. I think it's true. Can't expect fairness. Fight for fairness. Be fair yourself, but expect it? Probably not. I think it's a good way to go through life. Oh, it says, oh, I see. He did, what's his name? Learn Spanish. Sorry, guys. Shoot. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's Learn Spanish right there. Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh. Learn Spanish. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. I failed to see it on top, but thank you so much. Yeah, it looks like, and I think I'm just losing the comments here, but it looks like I said, I could have contested the strike, but I just didn't want headaches, so I ended up letting it delete it. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I've seen that before too. Sometimes it's better if you just delete the video. I always tell creators not to get attached to their content. It is merely content. It is like a sketch artist, probably sketches a million sketches in his or her career. Videos, don't get attached to them. They could go away. I know that it's unfair sometimes, but sometimes it's better just to let it go. Especially if you don't really care about the content, didn't get a lot of views. This one got a lot of views, so I see that. But I don't know. I think in the future you should contest because it sounds like you're in the right, and it sounds like you could prove it to YouTube. Use of the song that's public domain. It would be very easy to show that to YouTube. So maybe in the future, if you ever have a question like that, come to my website, iancorzine.com. I can help you get through that process. Real estate insider, I made it. Awesome. I'd love to look at your channel and see what you're an insider to real estate. Real estate's a great investment right now, so that'd be awesome. Let's check it out. We got the Kiggy. Don King owns a lot of Boston copyrighted fights. Mike Tyson fights, and he will always strike videos for fights he owns. That's probably true. We're seeing a lot of that. Let's make sure I got the question. Oh, we got Tony Skittle. Tony Skittle live streams. Thank you so much for £5. That it means a lot to me. Thank you so much for donating it to the channel. It means a lot. Hello, Mr. Corzine. What is the deal with Google moderators? I had 2 of those in 2 streams. Are they even real? Many thanks. Yes and no. You obviously can assign moderators for your live streams in the Google Studio. So that's one thing. Then also there are also AI moderators that float around from live streams. So yeah, when I say float around, I mean, YouTube is a big computer system. So I guess it was kind of like this video I made earlier in the week about Facebook reading WhatsApp messages. They talk about end-to-end encryption. They talk about private and secure messages, and yet they have a system. They have a computer system that breaks through all that and reads all your messages. They say for the purpose of moderation, but other people have other things to say about it. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is understand the possibility that we're in this YouTube computer right now, and YouTube is listening to the words and reading the words. So I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a moderator present always. Now my stream is being moderated. When I publish my next video, it will be moderated. So get used to the fact that it will occur. And again, those key terms have to do with, there's so many now, but pandemic, hacking, those kinds of things are big deals that will get your live stream taken down. Obviously, copyrighted music, YouTube will allow you between 10 and 20 seconds, and then they will pull you down on the live stream. So yeah, you have to get used to the fact that, Big Brother is watching. It's always watching. When you're in the YouTube computer system, you are being moderated. So it didn't used to be that way, but it is now. Oh, okay, make sure this is there. Okay. I like this one. I don't want subscribers. Can I opt out of them? That's a good... Oh, well, you know what? I think you can unsubscribe people by going into the YouTube studio and look at your subscribers. You can unsubscribe them. So I guess you could do that. The only problem is, well, I guess, I mean, your videos won't be promoted. I don't know. That's an interesting question. I never thought about that. Most people do want subscribers. Okay. Just going through the comments here. We've had trouble. Normalized Audio says we've had trouble with Beethoven too. Can you imagine? From the grave, Beethoven comes back and issues a DMCA takedown notice. That would be crazy. Okay, it says learn Spanish. I wish my video could be reinstated. It was fully recorded and performed by me. It was very popular with elementary schools teaching Spanish to young kids. Frere Jacques Spanish version. Well, I mean, this is one of those things. I spent some of the time today talking about not re-uploading removed content, but maybe this is one of those situations where you do, in the sense, I mean, I don't want to risk, I mean, if you really think it's important to your life to have this song on YouTube, then maybe you take the risk. But if you have a credible argument that your song was public domain, it was your own instrumentation, you did not copy someone else's performance, their sync license for performance, then, you know, maybe this is one of those risks you take. I don't know. It sounds like it's not so important to you because you just let the video go away and then you let the strike elapse, but it's possible. I'm definitely catch up with you. I'm a paralyzed Army Ranger and have speaking. Well, thank you, Remy. Thank you so much for catching up with me. And thank you so much for the donation. That means absolutely so much to me. And also, thank you for your service. It's risky out there right now, and we need protection. And thank you for everything you've given us in this world and in America. It means a lot to us. Thank you. We got Tom Chan. Affiliate marketing use external links. Is that okay? You know, in general, affiliate marketing links are a little risky. I will say Amazon links are an exception. YouTube does allow Amazon and Walmart, kind of the larger corporation, links in their video descriptions. However, I've counseled creators where they did, but you know, they had 4 or 5 Amazon links and they had a problem. So it's a really risky situation. I've seen a lot of people have success with the landing page in their website. So if you would, you know, a photographer, video maker, he has a camera, he has a mic, he has a light, he has all these different types of equipment. So he says, if you want to use the equipment that I use in my videos, click on this link and then maybe link it to a Google property, and then, or potentially one external link, but then it takes it to a landing page which gives you access to all the things you use in your photography. So in general, just remember, the fewer the external links, the better. The more, or when you do external links, Google properties are better. And then if you can avoid doing external links at all, that's the best for getting your videos promoted. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so behind here. All right. Okay. Tony Skittle says, you missed your question, the super chat donations and mine. I know, Tony, I'm so sorry. I think I got to it, right? If I didn't, okay. I think you responded. Good. Sorry about that. Coziella, thank you for educating us. It's kind of similar. Coziella is like Corzine. So, just make sure I got the questions in. If you do have a question, if you could just write question and colon, that would help me find it from the comments. Serendipity Bakery says, if a channel falsely reports another channel, does the channel who made the false report get their channel deleted? Answer to the question generally is yes. It is a no tolerance policy by YouTube. If you're issuing false copyright strikes, and it doesn't mean questionable ones. I mean, certainly it's within your right if your content is being used in another channel for you to issue a DMCA takedown notice. They're not going to get mad about that. It's just when it's clearly wrong. So I've had creators that have come to me in consultations and we've looked at their videos, all of them, every portion of them. There is no unoriginal content in the entire thing, and yet they got a copyright strike. It was false, it was wrong. We got those channels canceled. So yes, absolutely, YouTube does take it seriously, and if you're issuing false copyright strikes, YouTube does everything it can to delete the channel. So. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, Kenny Lewis, I've had this happen too, not with my videos, but with creators. Some of my videos got marked as for kids just because my video got got ponies. I guess that's ponies in it. I'm not the only one. Yeah, you guys know this, right? YouTube AI visits all the videos. Doesn't matter if they're current videos or old videos, and it looks for incidents of content that would make it for kids only. And the reason why they do that is they're concerned with their settlement. They don't want to get in a situation where they're, afoul of the law. And also, I have to tell you, when they do find something that they believe could be for kids only, 13 years and younger, or younger than 13 years, excuse me, then it's demonetized. So they get all the money. So it's kind of in their interest to find for kids only content. So be aware of that. I don't know that you don't have random toys in your videos that, don't have anything to do with the video just because you're worried about it deemed for kids only. But yeah, be aware of the fact that if YouTube finds a video that they say, hey, it's for kids only, you don't make any money on the video. It's demonetized. All right, so I think we're good. Let's see, make sure caught up here. Okay. Thanks again, Remy. I appreciate. Oh shoot! Now the comments are. Yeah, polyrhythm must be clearly defined to be affiliate though, so not sure how risky it can get. Yeah, you just can be careful. The other thing you can also do is you can, I never suggest creators change their metadata after they publish the video because it can affect it. But ultimately, if you're just worried that you're no longer going to be associated with a brand, so you made 5 videos with this brand and you have an external link to Sony, all right, you may want to remove those links later on. I've gotten anecdotal evidence one way or the other. Some people say when you change your metadata insubstantially, like you remove an external link, you remove a word or two, it does nothing to affect the suggested of the video. Some people said, listen, when you mess with the metadata, then it reallocates the video, rereads it, and then it could downgrade it in the algorithm. So I would rather take out the external link and not risk problems in the future and then worry about the fact that I'm being de-promoted. So that's my opinion on that one. We got Kenny Lewis. My problem is I don't upload videos related to current trends, and that's why I don't got much. I'd rather be unpopular than cringe. Yeah. Unless you're making videos about cringe topics. Learn Spanish. Well, thank you so much for your words, amigo. This song was very important to me because it was the most viewed video on my channel. Kids loved it. I noticed that I can still appeal. I'm just a bit scared of the legalities. I think he's probably talking about. Yeah, well, if you can still appeal it, don't be afraid. If you need specific advice on the words you should use for the appeal, feel free to set up a consult with me at iancorzine.com. I'm happy to help you there. But otherwise, if you don't, it's not a scary process. Most of the time it works. It sounds like you're in the right. I don't think that YouTube could credibly argue differently if the facts are as you represent them. So, if it is the most viewed video, solid performance by you, maybe take a chance. I don't think you're going to get your channel deleted as a result. Maybe I'm wrong. Marilyn Monrose. You always give the best YouTube advice. I agree that one link for a landing page of all products will work best. Great. Thank you, Marilyn Monrose. I like your channel name. It says here, YouTube is on its way out. It's easier to create content on other platforms like Telegram, TikTok, and others without all the drama, favoritism. Absolutely. Totally support you, Marilyn Monrose. I always say, please create content on multiple platforms. One of them you may lose, all of us. Just because I'm wearing a blue shirt, YouTube may say, you're not commercially viable, and so I'm going to take your channel down. So keep it out there. And I will say that, even though YouTube still is #1 as far as the most eyeballs on the platform, TikTok is rapidly coming up on YouTube. And I would say within the next month to 2, TikTok will be the most viewed platform on the world. Like you said, it's just easier to create the content. Copyright problems really don't come into play for the most part, because when you use TikTok, you agree that your words and your video can be used by others. And there's such a large volume of licensed music that's available, popular music, that it's almost doesn't make sense to go anywhere else. If you want a problem-free platform, TikTok is probably there. The problem with TikTok, of course, is that they don't serve long content very well. And so you're forced to novel content, funny content, really quick educational content, inspirational content. And those are kind of the main categories. I mean, so if your content is, I was thinking like Joe Rogan or something, you're not going to survive on TikTok. So that's the problem with TikTok. It's short form only. Whereas YouTube, you get the benefit of having, you could do hours if you wanted to. Let's just see here. Make sure. Okay. Oh, okay. Real Estate Insider, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. With celeb home tour videos where public photos are used but no addresses, am I required to remove the celebrity reaches out and requests removal? Well, what you should do, ideally, Real Estate Insider, is you should get a license agreement with the celebrity that appears in the home video. You can do that very easily. If you go to iancorzine.com, I have a license agreement right there, an appearance agreement, which is a one-page agreement. You just get the celebrity to sign it, and you're protected against future takedowns or lawsuits relating to defamation or any of the other causes of action related to appearance. So make sure that when you're doing these, a celebrity shows up in one of your real estate videos, that you make sure you get a license agreement with that person, as well as getting agreements with the videographer. Ultimately, when the videographer is taking the video, if it's not agreed in writing in somewhere, that videographer can assert rights to that video, saying, listen, I'm the one who shot it, so I have some rights, if not the Real Estate Insider. So you really want to make sure that you protect yourself in business with all sorts of agreements. You can get all those agreements at iancorzine.com in the legal templates section. So yeah, this brings up another issue. No addresses, very good. Please don't put addresses in your videos. Someone could argue that there's a privacy violation apart from any agreement you have with them. So yeah, don't do that. If you can, try to prevent viewers from knowing exactly where you are. I think probably with real estate, it might be hard because you're probably selling a certain location, but I would do your best to not use addresses for sure. If you don't have an agreement with the celebrity regarding his or her appearance in your video, then there is the celebrity may have a point. The celebrity may be able to force you to take down the video unless you have some evidence that there was consent. A lot of times what people do is they not only have written agreements, but also before the video starts in the B-roll, they say, hi, Tony Robbins, you have a beautiful house. Do I have consent to film your house and you for all purposes related to my social media? And if you get a yes, then you could use that video. You could use a transcript. You could use that video, link it, put it in a Google product, maybe upload it as an unlisted YouTube video, and use that as your consent to be able to film that celebrity in your video. Remy, thank you again for your donation. I appreciate that. And I'm so sorry that you are suffering from that condition. I also thank you for your service. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Yoke Tesla, channels need ratings. Kid channels should not suddenly be able to post adult content. If they want to make an age bracket change, they should go through the process. Yeah, I mean, that's one argument. Another argument is, people can feel free to do whatever content they want. When they move from kids to adult content, they risk losing their audience. So, there's a couple arguments on that. Let's just see here. All right. Well, guys, I am coming to the end of our discussion today. I wanted to thank you all for showing up early in the morning on a Saturday to talk about legal subjects and about the 7 things that will get your channel deleted. As I said before, if you ever need legal templates, go to iancorzine.com. If you would like to schedule a consult with me personally where we can discuss your problem and get it resolved, go to iancorzine.com and book a time on my calendar, and I will be able to happy to help you. Otherwise, I will see you this week with some new videos, and also every Saturday at 8 a.m. Pacific time for our live stream. Thanks so much.